going down the street with a granite quarry. Granite quarry. Now it'll take what they've got. What most of the time about this time of year, we'll come through here, and on both sides of the track are beautiful, bright yellow sunflowers. Now, I'm not sure whether that sunflowers out there or not. Obviously, there's no blooms on them. Looks like maybe some corn behind it. Again, I'm not a farmer, I will not. The only farmers here, they can better tell the crops than I can. But many years we've come through here about this time of year, and both sides filled, brand new, with big bright, both sides of the track. Approaching his signpost, and if you read the sign, it says Summit. And the number on that is 584. That we are at the highest point on this railroad. So we were basically going up a little bit, now we will basically be going downhill. And we'll talk about those hills here in just a minute. Now building off from the left way up the road there was Walmart of the 50s, a little bit store. Farmers picked up whatever they needed. Now it stands empty, boarded up. and you look at the road, and it goes up and down like a roller coaster. But the railroad track goes straight. And that's why they build it up even. The train doesn't have to. dig out granite. Yeah, that's what I'm really talking about. Those, vertical shafts, now these days they have all kinds of heavy equipment that can dig out granite. But back then they didn't do that. They didn't have that kind of equipment. So what they did is they had what's called a star drill, a good big heavy iron post, bar, and they would put it on the top surface, and then a couple people with sledgehammers would pound it, and they would pound it down into the rock, pounding a hole down into the rock. Once they get a big hole there, there's one right, a little short one there. Once they get a big hole, get it down, they then fill that with gunpowder or dynamite. They light the fuse and run, and when it blasts part of the rock. They then take it, go back, and they get back, I don't know, 6 inches, 10 inches, whatever, from that, and they pound another hole, and they blow it out. And so they sit there, and so it leaves these scars, these channels. There's some channels right there on the right side. There's some more of the channels on the right side. That is left over from where they used to have to cut through. And they did that until they had an area that was big enough to build the track through. Otherwise, they'd be way up there, and they'd have to go way down a steep hill, and nobody would control heavy train on that kind of hill. There's more and see them as we go on. Well, coming up ahead of us is a bridge. That's what we're calling it. This will be a short tunnel. We're going to sell for a bridge. That is the road that goes to the airport. That's what it is. Speaking of steam engines, one of the first things you'll see on the left, 712 is a steam engine. Track maintenance equipment. You can see some other cars, one to a boxcar, covered hopper, a couple locomotives. Most of them are well out of service. Coming up on the right is a crane that was original to the quarry. And that's going to be there are very few wooden cabooses along the railroad track these days. Most of them are either rotted, scrapped, or in some cases they've got a metal sheet put in. But that is an actual wooden caboose that we're in the process of restoring. Remember, as a museum, we don't get brand new spanking clean equipment from the manufacturer. Most of the rest of it comes out of the scrapyard. Because of the Amtrak cars, they were pulled out of service and auctioned off. So they will get them at roughly scrap value. On the left up here, you're going to see some of the wood shape or a slump structure. That is what's left of a rock crushing equipment. Operation. So they took granite that was activated out for rolling stone, and they crushed it there, and used track ballast and also an alley construction. They had commissioned the building of a locomotive, which we refer to as the best friend of Charleston. And it started operation Christmas Day, 1830. And at that point, it was the first locomotive in the United States to be used in revenue service. There were some other experimental locomotives, Grasshopper, some others, but that was the first locomotive in the United States actually used in revenue service. Part of Southern Railroad is now part of Norfolk Southern. Now, that was at 1830 and 1930. Property.